Hello. Today we're going to talk about Bull Gear. Bull Gear is a Russian-based facility that makes parts for airsoft guns that are just, they're better. They're what we need and they need more of. And they fix things that need to be fixed. Like this. This is the inner workings of the A&K PKM box magazine. As you can see, it's no longer inside my PKM's box because it's trash. It's a piece of trash. I did everything I could to keep mine in tip-top shape. Look at this motor. Look at this. Look at this cheap motor. And then it goes to these plastic gears to move the parts around, and then it has this jankety plastic gear stuff that, okay, well, big surprise, plastic's the part that broke. And then it goes to this, which is how they wired it all together. It's a mess. This is at the bottom of the magazine. This is under all this other garbage. This goes down here, and this was already broken when I first pulled this out of the magazine. This was already broken, and I bought it new. So this is the part that sticks up at the top of the magazine, and you hook it into the gun, and BB's feet up from here, and it's a cheap plastic part. And then your battery goes in here, and you hold 3,000 rounds inside of this, inside your box, with all this space below it being empty, except for the casing and whatnot for your motor, because the motor is all down here underneath it, just all down there, and it's trash. I don't want to ever see this thing again. Throwing it back in this box. I'm gonna throw it in the burn pit outside. I don't want the wiring. I don't want the motor. It let me down in the middle of a game, and I just assumed throw it out. So I replaced that with a Bull Gear insert. Now, what does that look like? Well, let's take a look. So this is my PKM's box magazine, which holds now a lot more rounds. But what's it look like inside now? Let's go ahead and open that up. Always gotta be careful with the wiring. All right, so here's my mag, and here's my LiPo that I'm running, and this is the magazine's cable that controls it. Its controls are all right here, and you can access them through the trap door here, so you can adjust your settings without having to flip the gun over or poke your hand around underneath it, which is, it never worked out. The ergonomics were always bad. So being able to just pop this open when I'm laying down, doing some suppressive fire, if I want to change anything, I like that more. Now, as far as the round count, you're gonna need something that you can pour it out in. I would not try to pour it into a bottle directly. And that's what it looks like on the inside. You got this 3D printed setup there, a high-speed motor down here with an aluminum head with the little paddle things on the sides, the little fins. But let's get into it even further by pulling this out. Pretty sure the best way to pull it out is to just pop it up there, and it just comes right out. No screws necessary. In fact, these little legs just hold it in place. Now, as far as used space in this magazine, it uses the space way better. Take a look here. We got the motor, which is way better looking as far as like how the motor casing looks and everything. It's set up here. It's got a little safe thing here, little safety there, keeping it from getting jammed. There's a little wheel that's on a spring. It's got this CNC'd aluminum head with the little fins. The motor set up right there. And the whole tray is tilted so that everything feeds down into it. This is all 3D printed. Looks like two parts, the lower part and the upper part, and then this is probably another separate part. Yeah. But that's fantastic. I just love it. That's just so good. And then you get the wiring going to the motor right here. Boom. Going up into this. Up into here where you got your controls. You got your little button for you push that and it automatically feeds the it starts the winding, puts the rounds into it, senses the you know that the thing's full and then stops. I like that. And this is your speed control for how fast it loads rounds into the PKM. Let's go ahead and put this back in. Just like that. No screws necessary. It just fits in there. Now let's go ahead and load it again, and then we'll do some shooting with it. So to load it, I just put in a little tray with a liner. For all the ones that are going to bounce around. These are .25s, and then some other .25, two different colors, sadly. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, how good is it? All day. Well, I just cut my target in half, so I guess I'm done. Well, this is only part one of what's going to be a two-part video. That's the bull gear insert for the magazine. Next, we'll have to talk about the bull gear hop-up chamber. Of course, that's going to be its own video. And what I have inside that bull gear hop-up is a Prometheus inner barrel and a Prometheus hop-up bucking from Lilacs. And we'll get into that in part two. Stay safe. Always use protection. I'll see you in the war zone. This is Warzone Workshop, signing off.